So I'm giving you a drum roll because it is the gut punch that we have been waiting for. Are you ready? As the principal, I know that you would not want students to not meet their learning goals just because you decided to play music over the intercom during the school day. OMG, mind blown. That is what we're going to call a gut punch, okay, for our as audience sentences. So really try to include these phrases all because you, due to you, just because you, those are going to be our gut punch phrases, okay? And it doesn't have to be to the principal. Maybe you really want swimming to be added to the school sports team, and you're saying, hey, Optimist Club, I know that you would not want students to not have any friends just because you decided to add golf instead of swimming to the fifth grade sports team. Not that there's anything wrong with golf, guys, but those are just my examples. So that's what we're going to call a gut punch to our as audience sentences. Now, we talked about filling the page. We talked about handwriting. Now, I really want you to work on pulling in that higher level vocabulary, okay? While you are home, on some kind of digital device that you have, maybe it's a cell phone, maybe it's a tablet, something, okay? You can pull up an online dictionary, dictionary.com, okay? I use this all the time, a bigger word for sad, okay? Miserable, upset, things like that, okay? I want you to start pulling in that higher level vocabulary. That's really going to help you hit your grammar usage and mechanics and really push yourself from one category in the rubric to the next category in the rubric is by pulling in that amazing vocabulary. Now, really quickly, in our results, so our consequently, therefore, and hence, if you say, since swimming, or let's back up, okay? If you have already acknowledged the sport or a person specifically in the sentence before your consequently, or before your therefore or hence, your result, you are able to use a pronoun in your result so that it is not repetitive. So if I said, and I'm coming up with these off the top of my head, I'm going to go back to the one that we wrote about the cruise. I'm going to pause this video so I can find that and just read it. Okay, so here is the piece. It was actually our advantages and disadvantages piece, and where we talked about the cruise in the example for the GPS tracking. Okay, so here's the example. Let me read it to you. For example, my brother got lost on a cruise ship. The ship was massive and thousands of people were aboard. My mother was sick to her stomach because she did not have a way to find him. Consequently, we made a search party. So what I'm talking about is we use the pronoun we in the result instead of saying, my mother was sick to her stomach because she did not have a way to find him. Consequently, my mother asked us to make a search party. If we would have said my mother, my mother, my mother in the same sentence, then it would have become very repetitive. So think about that. Pronouns we know take the place of a noun. I, you, we, it. So if you are specific and you mention swimming before your consequently, you are able to say it instead of swimming again because those are in the same sentence, okay? In your support sentences, so your first comma, your not only, make sure that you are being so specific. Make sure that you're not saying first, it can help you become physically fit. Well, I don't know what it is. That's a new paragraph, so you need to specify. First, swimming can help students become physically fit. So that is my big things to think about before you rewrite. If you have any questions at all, message me on Google Classroom, send me an email, send me a message on Remind.